We need your apartment for the weekend, my sister texted. My in-laws are visiting. You can stay at a hotel. I replied, I'm not home. Perfect, she wrote. I'll use your key. What she didn't know. I'd installed smart locks the week before. When she arrived with 8 people and their luggage, the door wouldn't open. My camera caught everything. I live streamed it to the family group chat. My sister's text came in while I was in the checkout line at Target. One hand on a carton of milk and the other on my phone. We need your apartment for the weekend, Megan wrote. My in-laws are visiting. You can stay at a hotel. I blinked at the screen like it might correct itself. I typed back, I'm not home. I meant I'm not available. I meant this is not happening again. She replied in under 10 seconds. Perfect. I'm using your key. Behind me, someone's kid was whining about Skittles. My heart did that cold drop thing like an elevator stopping too fast. I stared at the text and at the little picture of my son's Lego set in the cart. I typed, which key? The one Mom has, she wrote. Relax, we'll be gone Sunday night. You won't even know we were there. That last line made my jaw clench. Every time someone in my family said, you won't even know, it meant I would absolutely know in the form of trash bags, mystery stains, and missing food. I checked the time. 5:17 p.m. Friday. My 6-year-old Liam was with his mom this weekend. I was supposed to spend the next 2 days finally not cleaning up after anyone. Just me, my code, and a stupid amount of pizza. Instead, my brain started counting. Megan plus her husband Jason, his parents, his brother, and fiancé. Their 2 kids. That's already 7. Megan never travels without at least one friend or random cousin. Call it 8. 8 people in my 2-bedroom rental in Capitol Hill with my stuff, my work laptop, Liam's things. I'd already set the milk on the checkout belt. I grabbed it back and stepped out of line. The cashier gave me a look. I muttered, sorry, and moved toward the wall of red carts like I needed cover. I texted, no, you can't stay at my place this weekend. The typing bubble popped up immediately. Caleb, you're being dramatic. We already told them their bags are in the car. We're 10 minutes away. I looked at the time stamp again. 5:18. My apartment was 11 minutes from that Target in light traffic. I opened the smart lock app. The one I'd installed last week after the last time my parents borrowed my place for Megan's overflow guests. And I came home to find my monitor moved and my underwear drawer clearly rummaged through. The app showed one thing that made my heartbeat slow just a fraction. Front door, smart lock, online, auto lock enabled. I scrolled to the camera tab and tapped my doorbell feed. The view of my hallway popped up. My doormat, the ugly beige of the building carpet, the deadbolt that no longer did anything because it didn't have a key. Only the smart lock did. Megan had no idea. I texted, Mom doesn't have a key anymore. 3 dots. What are you talking about? I changed the locks last week. I wrote smart lock now. No one gets in without a code. It took her a full minute to respond. That was how I knew she was really mad. You didn't tell anyone, that's so selfish. Selfish. There it was. The family word for you're not letting us use you like free infrastructure. Instead of responding, I opened the family group chat. Fam. 23 unread messages from earlier. Memes. My mom's chain prayers, my dad's political rants, Megan's kids' soccer pics. I typed heads up. Megan is trying to move 8 people into my apartment for the weekend without asking. I said no. Mom responded first. She always had her phone in her hand like it was part of her cardiovascular system. Caleb, don't make a scene. Family helps family. You're a single guy. You'll be fine for one weekend. Single guy. Not a father who shares custody. Not a person whose name is on the lease. Just a placeholder with Wi-Fi. My hands felt weirdly cold even though the Target was overheated. I pulled my hoodie sleeve down, pushed my cart to the side, and headed for the exit. My phone buzzed again. This time it was the doorbell camera notification. Motion detected. Front door. I tapped it. The feed flipped open and there they were right on schedule. Megan in her camel coat, messy bun, yelling at someone off camera. Jason behind her with a rolling suitcase in each hand. An older couple I recognized from holiday photos. His parents. A younger guy with a beard and AirPods. A woman with a high ponytail. 2 kids bouncing around, each dragging a little suitcase that kept tipping over. 8 people. My brain counted automatically like it was taking inventory of the threat. I watched Megan dig in her purse, pull out my old silver key, and jam it into the deadbolt. The deadbolt turned uselessly. The smart lock stayed a calm, glowing blue. Megan frowned, jiggled the knob harder, then shoulder-checked the door like that would help. "Why isn't this opening?" she said. Her voice came through the camera mic, tinny and annoyed. Jason tried next like his male shoulders could fix technology. He twisted the handle. "Nothing. This isn't funny." Megan snapped at the door like I'd personally turned into wood. My phone buzzed with a new text from her. "Open the door." "This is ridiculous." I didn't text back. Instead, I tapped the little camera icon in the top corner of my doorbell feed. Share, then fam, then go live. Seconds later, a notification popped up in the group chat. Caleb started a live video. I watched as little icons appeared at the top of the feed. Mom, Dad, my cousin Nick. On screen, Megan kept yanking the handle. Her kids were complaining. One of Jason's parents said, "Are you sure this is the right building?" Megan turned to the camera, eyes narrowed. "Caleb, if you can't hear me, stop being childish and let us in," she said, voice pitched low like she was being reasonable. "We told them we're staying here." "Don't embarrass us." I could actually see my mother reacting in the chat. "Mom, Caleb, honey, just give them the code. We'll talk about boundaries later." Boundaries later, access now. My heart was beating hard, but my voice was steady when I hit the mic button on the camera. "Hi, I said the apartment is not available this weekend. You'll need to get a hotel." Everyone in the hallway jumped and looked straight into the camera like it was a horror movie, and the house talked back. "What?" Jason's dad said. Megan's face went red fast. "You're seriously doing this?" she hissed. With everyone watching, I watched the viewer count in the group chat tick up. Aunt Linda, Uncle Joe, my parents, my cousin in Phoenix, all of them watching my front door in real time like it was their favorite show. I didn't scream. I didn't drive over there. I just kept holding the phone, kept the stream running, and let them show everyone exactly who they were. People are always more shocked by the first visible boundary than by the 100 invisible violations that came before it. I'm Caleb, 32, software engineer in Seattle. Back in dev, mostly APIs, authentication, all the boring plumbing that lets other people's pretty apps actually work. Which is funny because in my family, I'm the plumbing too. The hidden infrastructure, the person who makes things smooth so everyone else can show up, smile, and pretend the house magically runs itself. When I moved to this apartment 3 years ago, it was supposed to be temporary. I just split from my ex, Jules. We were trying to figure out co-parenting with Liam, who was for back then and obsessed with trains and anything that could smash into anything else. My credit wasn't great after the breakup. My parents co-signed the lease. That was the lever. I didn't understand it back then. At the time, it felt like help. Mom kept saying most parents wouldn't do this. "We're giving you a fresh start." What she really meant was, "We now consider your apartment part of our inventory." The first incident was small. Megan texted me on a Thursday night. "Hey, our friends are flying in for the weekend. All the hotels are insanely expensive because of the music festival. Can they crash at your place? You'll be at Jules's with Liam anyway." I hesitated. "Maybe one night. We already told them the whole weekend," she wrote. "Don't make it awkward, they're super chill. You won't even know they were there." I swallowed it. Told myself it wasn't a big deal. I changed the sheets, hid anything expensive, and left a spare key under the mat like an idiot. When I came home Sunday night, the place smelled like weed and Axe body spray. Beer bottles were everywhere. Someone had left a half-eaten burrito in Liam's room on his tiny train table. My monitor had been moved. My router was on the floor. My toothbrush was wet. "Sorry they're messy," Megan texted when I sent her a photo. "But see, no harm done. I spent 3 hours scrubbing. No harm done, off my walls." The second incident was with my parents. Dad's cousin is in from Chicago, Mom said over Sunday dinner, like we were discussing dessert. We booked them a hotel, but it's so cold out, and the drive would be such a pain. It would be so much smoother if they stayed at your place. Smooth, another family word. Smooth meant convenient for them, expensive for me. "I have Liam this week," I said. "There's not really space." Dad frowned like I'd suggested burning the American flag. "He's little," he said. "He'll sleep anywhere. Put him in bed with you. It's one weekend. Caleb, family helps." I looked at Liam, sitting at the table carefully arranging peas into a perfect line. He wasn't eating them, just counting under his breath, like the math might protect him. I gave in. I moved Liam into my bed and gave up my sleep so my parents wouldn't have to say no to someone they saw once every 5 years. There, thank you, Mom texted the next day. See, that wasn't so hard. This is what family does. Sharing never meant them sharing anything with me. The third incident was bigger. Megan decided to host Thanksgiving, not at her townhouse in Bellevue. Obviously, that would mean cleaning and buying chairs. We'll do it at Caleb's, she announced in the group chat. He's central, easy for everyone. She didn't ask, she announced. I read it at my desk between code reviews, my stomach turning. I'm not comfortable hosting 20 people. My place is small and I have Liam. You're overreacting, Megan replied. We'll bring food. You just have to open the door. Mom jumped in. Let your sister have this. It's important. You know we don't have space. Your apartment is practically family property anyway. We helped you get it. Family property. Liam saw my face that night while he sat at the coffee table coloring. You look mad, he said. I'm thinking, I said. My mouth felt dry. Is Grandma in trouble? He asked, serious. I laughed once without humor. No, buddy. He picked up a blue crayon and started drawing a house. Halfway through, he erased the door. He didn't say why. That should have been my sign. Back then, I kept telling myself it was temporary. Once my credit got better. Once Liam was older. Once I made senior engineer, I thought the imbalance was a phase. It was the system. Back to the hallway, 8 people and a live stream. Mom was typing fast. Turn that off. This is humiliating. You're making Megan look bad in front of Jason's parents. Something clicked in me, not breaking, just locking. On screen, Megan's kids started crying. Jason's mom pulled one aside. It's okay, sweetie. Uncle Caleb is just having a moment. A moment. Jason stepped closer to the camera, jaw tight. Dude, this isn't cool. We drove 3 hours. I pay rent 365 days a year, I said into the mic, my voice annoyingly calm. This is my home, you didn't ask. You told, Jason rolled his eyes. You're really going to make my parents get a hotel? Everything's booked. Mom's message pinged again. Caleb offered to pay for one night. It's the right thing. The right thing with my salary, my bills, my kid. Megan's household income was double mine. Jason was a sales manager. His parents owned a beach house, but sure, I should pay. Megan stepped back into frame, voice bright and fake. Fine, keep your precious apartment. We'll just tell everyone you kicked your family out onto the sidewalk. Tell them, I said. And include the part where you tried to move 8 people in without permission while I wasn't home. The viewer count ticked up. My cousin sent a wide-eyed emoji. Dad finally spoke. Enough, Caleb. End this, stop embarrassing us. My heartbeat was in my fingertips. No, I typed. Explain why you gave out keys to my apartment after I asked you not to. Silence. Megan tried the handle one more time. The smart lock glowed blue, steady. She looked at the camera. If you don't let us in, don't ever ask this family for help again. There it was, the threat. I thought of every help I'd ever gotten. The co-signed lease, the boxes stored in their garage that turned into leverage, the loans with invisible strings. I ended the live stream. The family chat exploded. Calls started coming in, mom, dad, everyone. I let them ring. Instead, I opened the Files app on my phone and created a new folder, Apartment Access and Incidents. I saved the doorbell footage, screenshotted the texts, and recorded the live chat. That's when I stopped arguing and started documenting. The next wave hit that night. I was back at my apartment, groceries finally in the fridge, sitting at the kitchen table with my laptop open. The hallway outside was empty on the doorbell cam, but my phone buzzed every few minutes. Mom called again. This time I answered because I wanted the recording. She didn't even say hello. Caleb, what has gotten into you? I'm enforcing a boundary, I said. She gave a brittle laugh. This isn't therapy, this is real life. Megan had guests. You embarrassed all of us. They embarrassed themselves, I replied, by assuming they could take over my home. You're not being flexible, she snapped. We all decided your apartment would be overflow when needed. That's why we co-signed. It benefits everyone. Family property out loud this time. Who is we? I asked. Did anyone ask me? Silence. Then don't be ridiculous. I opened a note and typed her words as she spoke. So you're saying we all decided my apartment would be overflow? That's not acceptable. You're twisting things, she said sharply. Keep this up and don't come crying to us when you need help with Liam or money. I'm not asking for help, I said. I'm asking for respect. She hung up. 10 minutes later, an email arrived from my building manager. Subject: Question Ray guests accessing your unit. My stomach dropped. She explained that a group claiming to be my relatives had asked for a key, insisting I wanted them to stay. The office refused, but she needed confirmation going forward. I replied immediately, thanking her for following policy and making it clear that no one but me was authorized to access my unit. I attached the doorbell footage and hit send. The next morning, Megan tried a different tactic. You'll need Mom for Liam's pickups, she texted. If you freeze her out, good luck. I stared at the message and thought about Liam, how he always came back from their house a little quieter, a little smaller. Then I saved the text to the folder. Later that day, I sent one message to the family chat. From now on, no one is allowed in my apartment without my explicit written permission for specific dates. Any attempt to enter without that is trespassing. This is not up for debate. Mom replied instantly. You're making a legal issue out of family. Yes, I thought, exactly. 2 days later, I was called into the building office. Michelle showed me the footage, my family again, luggage in hand, frustrated and angry. These people don't live here, she asked. No, I said. They never have, she nodded once. Then we need to file a no unauthorized entry notice. If they try again, it will be treated as trespassing. I signed. My hand shook for half a second, then steadied. That night, Mom demanded a mandatory family Zoom call. I joined. Accusations flew. They said I humiliated the family. I calmly stated the facts. I read the policy aloud. The word trespassing changed the room. If you do this, Mom said, you're cutting yourself off. I'll take that risk, I said, and ended the call. I removed everyone from my smart locks, deleted old codes, and left the family group chat. The first weekend after, Liam came over. He looked around like he was checking for invisible people. No one's here, I said, just us. He relaxed. Grandma doesn't have a key anymore, he asked. No, only me, he nodded. Good. Months later, life is quieter, not perfect, just mine. My home finally feels like a boundary, not a hallway other people pass through. And that's the truth I keep coming back to. Access to me, my space, and my child is not a family right. It's a privilege, and I decide who has it.